All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. All right, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth through the Holy Spirit. And as always, giving a special peace and blessings and salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, I'm the brother Zion, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to feed the sheep and the lambs of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and pretty much I'm live out here. All right, it's gonna be my live camp for this week. The brothers will be out tomorrow around 3 o'clock. All right, they'll be live as well. But as of tomorrow, you know, I got something I gotta do, so I decided to come out today. All right, because the work still has to be done. Okay, no matter what, the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai still has to be done, and the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai still has to be pushed throughout the four corners of the earth, no matter what. All right, these lessons still got to go out, and the work still has to be done. Okay, and in these latter times, you're seeing this word go out at a very rapid pace. All right, not only is it going out, not only is the word going out week in and week out, but it's going out day in and day out. All right, if brothers take a look at your notification bars, there's videos being uploaded every single day. All right, by the hour. Okay, and that's because this word is going out strong. Okay, and it's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai that we're able to do this work. Okay, that the spirit remains on us to continue to do this work. All right, and ultimately, you know, it's a beautiful feeling to be able to have the spirit on you to prophesy, and to bring in the Lord's elect. All right, to fish for the elect. All right, in season and out of season. All right. So I'm just gonna start with the book of Romans, chapter 9. You know, the Spirit told me to start there, so I'm gonna start there. All right. So this is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 1. It says, "I say the truth in Yahweh Shai, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart." And this is the Apostle Paul speaking. All right. "For I wish that myself were accursed from Yahweh Shai, from my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites." And this is the Apostle Paul proving that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is dealing with a particular bloodline of people. You get guys like Vocab Malone and these other apologists and different people that try to come up against us and say, you can't prove that you're an Israelite, or you think that the Lord only came for a particular group of people. Well, he did. The Apostle Paul just said, according to the flesh, who are Israelites. So if he said according to the flesh, that means it's according to a particular bloodline. All right, a certain stock of people, a particular nation of people. All right. "For I wish that myself were accursed from Yahweh Shai." It says Christ, but his name is Yahweh Shai. "For my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth." So what belongs to the Israelites? "To whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises." All right. So Yahweh Shai is going to do what? Bring back his people, the elect. He's going to adopt them back. All right. Which those are going to be Israelites. Okay. The glory and the covenants belong to who? The Israelites. All right. The first covenant, we broke it. Right. Our forefathers went off. But this covenant the new covenant that's getting ready to be established, we're not going to go off in the new covenant. All right. What am I looking to say? Oh, the law, statutes, and commandments are going to be written in our inward parts. Okay. As a matter of fact, that first covenant. All right. Let me get this precept real quick. This is Leviticus chapter 26 and what is it? Leviticus 26 and 46, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Salakia. But it says, it goes into how the Lord basically, you know, how this thing was only made between him and the children of Israel. I thought it was Leviticus 26 and 46, but there is no 46. So Salakia. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I knew it. I knew it. That's the spirit. Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 46. These are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. Okay? So these are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. And that never changed. That never changed. The old covenant was given to the children of Israel, and the new covenant is also going to be given to the children of Israel. There's no such thing as a spiritual Israel, man. And that's where you other nations try to creep in. Oh, we're Israel in the spirit. No, you have to be according to the flesh, like the Apostle Paul just said. All right. So Romans 9, and where was we at? Okay. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises, whose are the fathers, and whom as also concerning the flesh Christ came, who is over all, Yahweh blessed forever. Amen. All right. So it's only for the Israelites, and we've made that plain and simple. You know, it's been plain as day ever since the apostles came on YouTube back in 07. The elect always saw it. All right. Let's get Matthew 1 and 21. All right, because a lot of people have a misperception of Yahweh Shai, man, and who he's coming for and who he came for. All right, and who this book was written to. All right, all the prophets that you read about, they were all Israelites. All right, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, okay, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, you know, King David, Job, Ezra. All right, Moses, Israelites, man. Matthew chapter 1 and verse 21. And what's beautiful about Matthew's the first chapter is it even gives the genealogy of Yahweh Shai, and it speaks about the men. All right, all the way down to verse 21. It says, Matthew chapter 1 and verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh Shai, for he shall save his people from their sins. And those are known as two possessive pronouns, his and their, for he shall save his people from their sins. All right, and that's what he's gonna do. His name literally means in the Hebrew, he is the deliverer, Yahweh Shai. He is the deliverer. Who's he coming to deliver? The children of Israel. All right, the elect. Okay, one of my favorite precepts, Matthew 24 and 30. All right, he's going to deliver the elect, man. And he's only coming for Israelites. And there's the elect at that. Okay, so there's no way that you could get around it. Oh, he's coming for the whole world. That's that church Christian doctrine, man. That bullshit. All right, this is Matthew 24, and I always read this. Matthew 24 and 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, which is Yahweh Shai. All right. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they that see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. And his elect is amongst Israelites. All right, let's go to the book of Revelation. Let's go to the 7th chapter first. Hey, that's why this world is basically in a frenzy, and that's why a lot of people can't accept the fact that a bunch of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the dispersed of Judah and the other tribes, all right, are standing upon their feet, teaching this word, teaching prophecy to a particular group of people. All right, because they've been so used to the Christian church saying that, you know, God loves everybody. But no, now you have the prophets coming back, all right, in the reincarnation saying, no, this is for the children of Israel exclusively. This is exclusively for the children of Israel. All right, this ain't for anybody. This is an exclusive club. You got to have a VIP membership, man. All right. And now that the world has wanted to separate themselves from us for so long, you know, especially when Esau had us in captivity, uh, uh, Collard's water fountain, Collard's bathrooms, you know, they would separate themselves from us. But now that we're separating ourselves from you, now it's a problem. Now it's hate speech. Now we teach hate. Now we're the worst things. We're the worst people walking. No, we waking up to the fact that, hey, we're supposed to be separate from you, man, because technically we're holy. The word holy means separate. So all that you was doing, that was good for you, even though we was mistreated. But it's never designed for us to be buddy, man. We going all the way back to the womb. Jacob and Esau was scrapping, getting down in the womb so bad to what it say. It said Rebecca had to go pray, inquire to the Lord, man. If it be so, why am I thus? For two nations shall be separated in thy womb, you know, and that's when the prophecy started to break down. But we was never meant to be buddy with you devils, man. Anyway, Revelation chapter 7 and what did I want? 7. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1. It says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and cried with a loud voice, saying to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. Now, it's basically, you know, saying hold back the destruction until we have sealed the servants of our power. And who are those servants? Let's continue on. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Now that 144, we understand through the Holy Scriptures, is all men. All right, that 144 is all men, 12,000 from each tribe. All right, Lord willing, we're of that number. Okay, the first fruits, the elect. Okay, so basically the order was to hold back the destruction until we have sealed this 144. And that's why to this day you still see the trees, you know, moving around. All right, you still see cars going up and down the street, right? Because I'm at a park right now, so you still see life, so to speak, right? You oh damn, I'm messing up the damn stream. Yeah, so but it's only like that because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is still sealing his elect. All right, we still have work to do. Okay, we still got to go out on the highways and the byways, prophesy and teach this word, man. It says, and it goes into all the tribes. All right, of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. All right, so that's why when we go out on the highways and the byways, we have a sign with the 12 tribes of Israel so our people can identify themselves, okay? And that sign is also biblical as well. We take the 2 sticks, we combine them to one, all right? We put them on the whatever brothers have, the wooden plank, you know, or some brothers may have a plastic, you know, plank. And that sign is so when our people come by, they can recognize themselves on the sign and say, oh, I'm an Israelite. All right, and it may grasp them. It may grasp, you know, their ear, okay, or their eyes, so to speak, Salakia. And they say, well, and we ask, hey, you on the sign? You on the sign? Yeah, I'm on the sign. I'm right there. I'm Ephraim. Okay, well, you an Israelite, man. You one of the Lord's people. And then you can go into the breakdowns and the prophecies of Ephraim. Let them know how they got over here. You know, let them know the captivity and the wickedness that Esau Edom put them through. And then, Lord willing, they start to wake up. Same thing with Judah and for the rest of the tribes, man. You go to Deuteronomy 28, you start to break down the different curses and precepts and the things that we went through, so our people can identify themselves. Let them know, look, man, your history is in the Holy Scriptures, man. All right, everybody's history ain't in the Holy Scriptures. Okay, and I mean that like from a captivity and negative standpoint, because you do have all nations written in the Bible, but this is pretty much an Israelite history book, man. That's what I mean. All right. So like I said, that 144 were all Israelite men. Okay, and you don't have to believe what we say. We're telling you what it is because we're the teachers. Okay, we're the ones laying the foundation. The Lord gave us the spirit to teach. Right now, a lot of you people should be in the spirit of shut up and listen. And I say that humbly. 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen to the prophets, man. Hey, the Lord even said back then they misused his prophets. They mocked the prophets of the Lord. You guys still do the same thing today. But back then they misused and mocked the prophets. Now we're in a time where you should be listening to the prophets, especially if you're an Israelite and you call yourself so-called straddling the fence and try to find the truth. You should be listening, man. You should be listening to the brothers. All right. Verse 9, it says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, stood before the Lamb and before the throne. Salakia, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Now in the Christian church, they'll say, oh, look, people of all nations, all kindreds, all peoples, and all tongues stood before the Lamb. That's talking about all mankind. Cut. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 64 and see who that's really talking about. And look at that. I turn right to Deuteronomy 27. 1 page over. All right. Because Israel was scattered amongst all nations and all kindreds and all peoples and all tongues. That's what it's talking about. All right. It ain't talking about all people, all races. No. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. Let's see who all nations, kindreds, and peoples and tongues is talking about. It says, and the Lord, and this was a curse. Remember, this was a curse amongst our people. This is one of the curses, man. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So the curse was that we will be scattered amongst all people from one end of the earth even into the other. So this precept is saying in Revelation 7, when those saints are gathered, like the 144 was gathered, they're going to be gathered from all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues. But it's speaking about the Israelites still. It doesn't go from the 12,000 from each tribe to everybody. It's still speaking about the Israelites. All right. But that's what a lot of people don't like to hear, because for so long, the truth has been hidden, man. For so long, people haven't heard how the Bible is really supposed to be broke down. But we're here to give it to you. Raw and uncut, no gimmicks. All right. And I heard a loud voice saying, salvation to our power, which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. And we read in Revelation 1 and 21, when Yahushua said, when the prophecy was that he shall save his people from their sins. Who's his people? The children of Israel. All right. And basically right now, what I've been doing through the Spirit is going back to Israelite 101. Who did the Lord come for? I basically started that with Romans 9. Who are Israelites? I didn't know I was going to go into that today, but it's pretty much an easy topic when you know the scriptures. But there's new brothers that need to hear the basics sometimes, right? Because at the end of the day, this great awakening, man, brothers are going to have to hear the basics. And then you know, feed them the prophecies. All right? But through faith, they're going to believe it regardless. They're going to believe it, man. Because I remember the first time I heard this word, it was really through the Apostle Rhyme Lab. Back with that video, You're a Slut, the famous You're a Slut video on WorldStar. And as soon as I heard this word, it clicked. It clicked like Neo in the Matrix, and like Morpheus in the Matrix when he gave Neo those jujitsu lessons. And Morpheus was like, you want more? And Neo was like, yeah, more. As soon as I heard that You're a Slut video and I heard the apostles going into the word, breaking down the scriptures, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is the truth. And I went on YouTube and I was hooked ever since. That's when I woke up. It was literally like a day. I didn't second guess it. I didn't say, nah, them dudes crazy. I got to do some research. I didn't do none of that. I instantly knew. I'm like, yo, this is the truth. And then my parents started saying I was in a cult and all this shit. Then I packed my shit and got out of there. And then I eventually came back, but, you know, I was like, I'm getting the fuck away from y'all, man. Y'all crazy. I was trying to break it down to them. Look, I'm telling my mom and my dad, look, read Deuteronomy 28. This is us. This is us. But at that point, I was so fresh in the truth. I didn't know that I was trying to beat it into them, but they wasn't accepting it. They wasn't accepting it. And I'm like, how can't you see it? You know, I didn't have the full understanding then, because it was plain as day to me, but to my peoples, they were saying I was in a cult. I need to stop hanging around these people, that people, you know. But I was like, fuck that, man. I know this is the truth. And ever since then, you know, hey, I've been rolling through the spirit. Call all Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And ever since that day, I've always accepted the fact that I was an Israelite. The name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is his name. And and Lord willing, I continue to do this work, man. You know? Beautiful. Salakia, you know, that was a little rant, but, you know, it made me feel good, man, because I couldn't imagine really being in this world not knowing who I am. Like the everyday average American Negro or Latino or Native American, not really knowing who you are. You know, thinking that you come from these fucking bywords that Esau put on you, man. And we didn't come from that shit. Our true history is in the Holy Scriptures. So the Wadati Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai for setting up the apostles to feed us the truth. And once we came into a particular understanding and we were able to break down the scriptures, now we feed brothers the truth. And it's a trickle-down effect. And that's how the elect ultimately ends up sealed. All right? So that was pretty much it on that, all right? On Revelation 7. This is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 1. It says, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood upon the Mount Sion, having with him 144,000, having their father's name written in their foreheads. And we just read that the 144 was 12,000 from each tribe of all the tribes of the children of Israel. We just read that. So that 144, it don't say they're Israelites in this verse, but we read it in Revelation 7, so we know who that is. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the beast and before the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. And the word redeemed, we know, which means to buy back. And who's going to buy us back? Yahweh Shai. And that new song is the song that we're singing now. Okay? The song is symbolic for the doctrine. All right? And you see, and that's another thing, man. A lot of you jakes out there, you don't believe that you got to have the correct doctrine. You think that you can go out and teach whatever the hell you want to teach, hold any kind of unity camp with all other camps with different doctrines, and the Lord is dealing with you because we all coming together, we Israelites. No. You better have the correct doctrine, man, because if you don't, the Lord, Yahweh Shai gonna come back and your ass ain't gonna be on no chariot. All right? Take heed unto thyself and into the doctrine, man. So no man could learn that song, which is this doctrine that we're speaking, but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. And the 144, all right, is going to speak that. Let me get Psalms 19. All right. While the spirit is hot. You know, the spirit is on me right now. Call Allah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. I could feel the spirit on me. Hey, if you could feel the spirit on you, that means you ain't lost it, man. And I say that humbly. I can literally feel the spirit of the Lord on me right now, man. That's motivation right there. You know, Psalms chapter 19 and verse 1. It says, the heavens declare the work of Yahweh, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. And what is that talking about? That's talking about this song that we're singing, okay? And no man can learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. That song is going out throughout the four corners of the earth. And it literally just said, there is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. That's why you got camps in damn near every city, camps in every state, camps in different countries. All right, everywhere you go, pretty much in Babylon. All right, I'm just speaking on the shores of Babylon, even though we know we got brothers in different countries. Everywhere you go, pretty much in Babylon, like let's say I got up and I said I'm moving here. There's a good 80% chance there's gonna be a camp there. All right, like the brother Gabar in our camp, he just moved out to North Carolina. He linked with the GMS brothers in North Carolina. All right, let's say I wanted to move to Florida. There's Florida camps. If I wanted to move to Texas, there's Texas camps. If I wanted to move to South Carolina, it's a camp South Carolina. You know? If I wanted to move to Georgia, or Georgia, the state of Georgia, there's camps in the state of Georgia. Everywhere, man. DC, you know, that area. There's that's just a few off the top of the head, but there's camps in damn near every state, man. All right? That's because this word is gone out. It says their line is gone out throughout all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them have he set a tabernacle for the sun. And that's why we got this unicorn, which is the YouTube pretty much. All right, the YouTube gives us the ability, and the unicorn gives us the ability to be able to speak on camera, okay? And then like right now, a brother in London could be like, hey, Shalom, Mak. Okay, a brother in the UK, Shalom, Mak. A brother in Jamaica, Shalom, Mak. Because we could watch each other from the unicorn, you know, on the internet. And that's how to see, like the apostles and elders, like they always used to tell Nate, you ain't got to get up and catch no damn jet over to these particular places. All right, you let the internet and the unicorn do your heavy lifting, man. That's what it's done for us at GMS. Okay, you let the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai do the heavy lifting, man. All right. So switching gears. All right. Let's switch gears real quick. Get into some prophecy. All right, because we know that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, war is coming. All right, the third world's war is coming. Nuclear capabilities are set. Okay, you got somebody right now, their job is to shine a missile, to polish the missiles, keep them ready. All right, that's their job. Literally, that's like an occupation. Make sure the missiles stay ready so they don't get all dusty and you got people down there wiping them down. Because at any point, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai could put the spirit on the kings of the earth to launch the third world's war. All right, and that's what keeps us excited. That's what keeps us on our toes. We know that there's getting ready to be a third world's war that's getting ready to pop off. And we can't deliver ourselves. So who do we look to? We look to the Heavenly Father and his son, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who we look to. Because first and foremost, that's our power. And secondly, we have to lean on him. Okay? So this is the book of Jeremiah, Salakia. Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all things that are therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them, he have delivered them to the slaughter. Okay, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. Hey, what is that? Obadiah 15. For the day of the Lord is let's read it right here. Obadiah 15. I turn to that real quick. That's the spirit. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, the Israelites, and there shall be holiness, in the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai have spoken it. All right, so the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. Back in Isaiah 34, it says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them, he have delivered them to the slaughter. And that's what's getting ready to happen in the Third World War. All right, they're going to be gathered in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is in the Middle East somewhere, which in the Hebrew means Yahweh Shaphat, which is the Lord's judgment. And it's going to go down. It's going to be a showdown, okay, of all nations and all armies fighting. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to be orchestrating it with the angels. All right. It says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down. The heavens being rolled together as a scroll is speaking about the mushroom cloud when the nukes hit. Okay, that it's going to roll up real quick like a scroll, you know, from the impact. It says, as a leaf falleth from the vine, and as the falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, which is another word for saying Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. And that's the Edomites. The Edomites are the people of the Lord's curse to judgment, man. Okay? Because they're the only nation promised no mercy from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. They're not promised no mercy. We just read in Obadiah, and the house of Esau for stubble. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai have spoken it. All right. So from there, let's go to 47. All right. We're in the time of Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, Isaiah 47, Isaiah 34. You know, we're in those times. Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. And everybody is looking at this place like pretty much these people know that they in trouble, right? They know that they fucked up. They know they in trouble. But people in America like to live in a fake bubble, like everything is okay. They like to live in this fake protected bubble, right? But really, they could feel the tension around them. They could feel this shit collapsing, man. People could, you got people on TikTok crying because they barely could afford to live. You know, you got people saying, you know, how am I gonna pay my bills? How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do that? I can't survive. And these are Edomites talking. But Jake been going through this shit for hundreds of years in America. Jake been going through this shit for hundreds and hundreds of years in America. But you got Edomites crying and bitching that they can't, now all of a sudden, they can't sustain themselves. Well, guess what? You better buckle the hell up, because your society is only going to get worse. And it ain't shit that you can do about it. And this place is no more called tender and delicate. You're no more looked at as the lady of kingdoms. You're no more looked at as this so-called beautiful society. Now you looked at as a bunch of thieves, rapists, robbers, and murderers. The rape, rob, and murderers that you are, man. Because you Edomites ain't shit. Take the millstones and grind the mill, uncover thy lot, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. And that's symbolic for being revealed. Okay? Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, and thy shame shall be seen. Now your ass is being revealed. Now you've been running from the Edomite nationality for so long. But now the prophets are putting that nationality back on you. Nah, nigga, you an Edomite. Your ass an Edomite, man. Nah, you gonna live by the nationality that was placed upon you from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And then you got people, oh, the Edomites are done away with. Those prophecies are done. Nah, the Edomites ain't done away with. And there's plenty of prophecies to come. Plenty of prophecies to come for you devils to go through and for your society to be cooked and for you to be finished. Prophecy still being fulfilled. It says for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And right now, we're at the end of your fucking downfall, man. Call Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Excuse my French. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. The Lord ain't coming back to meet you as a man. When you look up in these clouds, you're going to see a force, a power. You're going to see heavenly technology, man. Not this little bullshit AI that you got. You're going to see the real heavenly technology. Because the Lord only gave your weak red ass a sprinkle of technology. You ain't seen technology. A chariot will go up, down, left, right, in the water, out the water, go up into the heavens, come back down, fucking disappear, reappear. That's real power, man. The only thing your ass could do is fly an airplane forward. You can't even move shit backwards, man. But you got your little weak-ass submarine. Shalom, brother. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. You ain't seen real heavenly technology, Esau. Because them chariots, at the end of the day, they're going to be playing games with you devils, man. That's why it says the Lord is going to have to really put the spirit on the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Green Berets, the special super. He's going to have to put the spirit on y'all to fight. Because when you see the power that the angels come with, the average human is going to fucking shit themselves, man. Your Air Force and your toughest soldiers ain't going to be ready to face that. So the Lord, it says it in the Apocrypha, he going to have to put the spirit on y'all to durst fight. And it's going to be a fucking whitewash, man. Ain't one chariot going to get shot out the sky. Ain't one chariot going, if you do shoot something at the chariot, it's going to ricochet off the chariot. No chariot's going to get shot down. It's going to be a landslide, flawless victory, man. Down goes Esau. Like the old saying, down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. When in the boxing match, it's going to be down goes Esau, motherfucking ass, man. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And there's nothing you can do about it. I don't give a damn how much AI you got. I don't give a damn how proud in your spirit you think that you can upset the prophecies of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. This shit is going to be a Mortal Kombat flawless victory. Finish him. And that's why you afraid of the men of the Lord. And that's why you saying we teach hate. Because we're prophesying your downfall, man. Salakia. Okay, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name. The Holy One of Israel, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Sit thou silent and get into the darkness, O daughter of the Chaldees. And this is symbolic for America. We know that the Chaldees, the land of the Chaldeans, were known for their witchcraft. And what is America known for? Enchantments, witchcraft, heavy sorcery, wickedness. Just look on the back of your a cereal box. That's wicked as hell, man. Those are enchantments in those goddamn ingredients, man. On a lot of shit that you eat and drink, that's Esau putting enchantments out there and poison. So this is known as this is symbolic for the land of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient thou hast heavily laid thy yoke. And thou hast said, I will be a lady forever. Psalms 49:11. Their inward thought is what? That their houses shall continue forever. That's the spirit of Esau Edom. He don't never believe he gonna be taken down. But we always give the famous example of the four kingdoms. All right. The Medo-Persian Empire, they never thought they was gonna go down. They went down. All right, the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Romans. And now this is the extension of the Roman Empire. When the kingdom is at its height, they never believe they're gonna be taken down. But history shows that you're gonna go down. Same thing with America. All right, according to prophecy, you just a little horn, man. and you're going to be burnt with fire. So take that, Jack. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thine heart, neither didst thou remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures. And this society is all about fucking pleasure. Okay, excuse my French. That dwellest carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. And this place firmly believes that nothing, only because you got the so-called strongest military and because you got all this weaponry, you believe it's like a nigga with a bunch of guns. I wish a nigga would run up on me. I wish a nigga would run up on me. I got something for you. I got something for you. I got some shit in the trunk, right? You got this big ass, it's like, what was that? Don't Be a Menace, where Marlon Wayans fucking had the fucking thing. He was like, do we have a problem, huh? That's America, you know? And then the niggas got in the car and got up out of there. That's symbolic for like the other nations. You think because you got the biggest military and the biggest weaponry, can't nobody mess with you. But you forgetting that it's the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai that's going to put you down. It's the angels that's going to take you down. It's Yahweh Shai that's going to take you down. You worried about Russia, China, and these other nations. You need to be worried about Yahweh Shai, man. Because that's who's going to take your red ass down. That saith in thine heart, I am, and none else, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. And that's why we can't wait for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to return, because it says they're going to come upon Esau in their perfection, which proves that it's coming from the heavens. Anything that comes from the heavens is going to be in its perfection. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee, and that thou sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. If so, thou shalt be able to profit. If so, thou mayest be able to prevail. Okay? So we understand through faith that Esau, Edom, is going to be taken down, man. Okay? He's going to be taken down. And brothers, it only requires patience. All right? Woe unto thee that has lost patience. What will you do when the Lord shall visit you? So just have patience and continue to have the spirit on you and give your best effort, man. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai will find you a faithful servant. You know, just be glad that you are Israelite and the Lord woke you up and granted and placed his Holy Spirit on you, man. And pray that he don't take it off you, because it's a lot of temptation out here, a lot of distractions and roadblocks and things in the way. But the work must continue. All right. So with that, Lord willing, you brothers were edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth through the Holy Spirit. Peace and blessings and salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, it's the Brother Zion signing off. Stay up, keep pushing. Shalom.